I am really glad I got the X-File key. I'm glad I got to show that off. Daddy? I apologize for the smoke alarm in advance. I would mute. Daddy, where are we? This is the horizon. Everything is transformed into memories, and all the memories, I can't read this fast. The horizon. An interval between reality and the dream world. The horizon that separates the two worlds, and the emulator zone, known as the information library. That was a dungeon in Wild Arms 2. This is hiatus. A white world of nothingness. Did our Filgaia end up like this? Just like a void? Or just a void? Why is it blurry? I guess that's to signify the void. Oh, so we weren't able to accomplish anything. An existence will one day cease to exist, and this existence is nothing but a mere memory to begin with. Existence is a form of memory passed down from history. We all fought so hard to protect everyone's memories. But I guess... Wait a minute. Memories. If Filgaia and all life living there are a form of memory, then all we have to do is create memories again. Yeah, like that's easy. Every one of us has to gather up memories we have towards the future. This is JRPG plot convenience, and this is the horizon where all the memories are gathered. This is a JRPG or what? If Beatrice was able to create a Filgaia from memories, then if I use this terminal to unify everyone's memories as one, our Filgaia may once again. And likewise, we use the Yggdrasil's generator that was transformed into memories. It will take a miracle for this to succeed. This is an unlikely coincidence, but do you believe it will work? Coincidence is part of fate. Ah, yes, the beginning of the game. We're not just leaving this miracle to chance. My efforts and everybody else's will unify the Filgaia that's in our hearts. It's a Filgaia from our memories, so it might be a bit dusty, but we can all work to change that. Creating a Filgaia from memories. This is the same game plan as the Dream Demon, but will it work? But if indeed it's possible, Jet's memories will also be included. If we still have his memories of the former Filgaia, then maybe, just maybe, the Filgaia before will arise. This is like planting a single seed. I know it'll work, Daddy. I'm not alone. I wish the text wasn't so fast. And plus a miracle is a reward you get for giving it your best. Or else the fruits of your efforts won't be worth the price. I hate having to read this fast, but like, what choice do I have? I don't want to like be silent for the ending of the game. I've been reading dialogue this whole playthrough. I could be silent, but at the same time, like... Oh, hey, I'm here. Hey, what's up, guys? Is everyone alive? Yeah, we're all kicking. You're the one who was out cold until now. The world. Is Filgaia still here? I mean, this is the Arc of Destiny. Yes! Yes, we all made it! Yes, we all made it back safely. Well, Lamium didn't. Lamium. We'll bring Fort Filgaia's future. The one you wanted. What are you doing up there? Did you do this? Why did you kill the founder? No, wait. It's not what you think. You've got it all wrong. Well, we're getting arrested. This is quite the ending. Everyone in here, the founder. The founder has been... Talk about bad timing. The worst. But they're pretty green at fighting. No, we can't do that. We have no other choice. We've been showered with fire before. What's the difference now? Don't tell me we're committing suicide. No, nothing like that. We're not gonna lay down our lives. Then how the hell do we get out of this pinch? You're the leader. If you have a way out, we'll follow your orders. Are you guys gonna like fight back? The first hurdle I had to overcome after becoming a drifter was the fact that my concept of what justice is doesn't always hold true in the wasteland. But still, an unwavering sense of justice lies within me. It compels me to hold true to my convictions. I won't let my feelings waver. I'm gonna carry through. That's my definition of justice. We've traveled the right path up until now, haven't we? We may have stumbled, but we did the right thing, right? Yeah, I think so. There's no way we would live slavishly, words. Then, we won't need arms anymore. Let's just hold our heads high and run out. You're gonna sacrifice your guns! The guns is what makes this game amazing, the fact that they all have guns! Fine, I'm in. But I'm not accompanying you to the other world. I don't have enough memories yet. I'm not gonna go out, yeah. You're an unpredictable leader, just like a storm. Whether to believe this storm can blow away all our problems is the question. A storm, huh? You said it. It reminds me of that stormy night on the train where we all met by coincidence. I never thought this last stop would take us like this. A coincidence is part of fate. I'm really glad I met all of you. We had some rough times together, but more than anything, it was fun. Our memories together can't be bought by any treasure, right? Why is this text so fast? Oh, they're all just sacrificing their guns? Our every step is always headed towards the future. Is that really the end? Our memories into the future. There's gotta be another cutscene. That's not the end of the game. Maybe it is. I kind of hated that the text was so fast. Sorry I had to like I didn't even get to read everything. Sometimes the text was way too fast to read, but hey, there we go. Wild Arms 3. We're done. Obviously the playthrough isn't done. The main story's done. Like I did for Wild Arms 1 and 2, I will do the post-game for YouTube only, so if you want to see me do the side quests, like the Telepath Towers, Millennium Puzzles, some of the optional bosses, I would highly recommend checking out my YouTube channel. I'll post them there. I don't know when I'll get to it though, because I'm really busy. But I promise you I'll do at least some of the content in the game. I want to do more in Wild Arms 3. I just think YouTube only is a better experience, like with the first two games. But yeah, Wild Arms 3. I like Wild Arms 3. It's a good game. It's got some problems, but I really like it. That was a really, Virginia's a really great lead. I don't know, I feel like the ending leaves a bit to be desired. It's not a bad ending, but definitely not as good as 1 and 2. 1 and 2 had a better ending. In Wild Arms 1, when Jack and Rudy were going on an adventure and Cecilia met up with them, was better. And in Wild Arms 2, when Irving and what was her name? Altacia? Irving and Altacia sacrificed themselves, and the people of Filgaia unite, and then Ashley and Marina had children, twins specifically. This is a neat ending. It's fine. It's not like great, but it's a good enough ending. I really like Virginia. She's a good lead. She's a really great protagonist. She's up there as like one of the best female leads. I don't think she's my all-time favorite, but she was a really good protagonist. I started off thinking like, yeah, she's fine or neat. And then like as the game went on, I was like, yeah, I like Virginia. I like the angle they went with her. It's not like it's not like a, what's the word? It's not like a super deep character arc, but that's fine. It's really well done. The other characters are really good too. Jet, Gallows, and Clive. I probably ranked them like Virginia first, then Gallows, then Jet, then Clive. Jet's whole thing of being like the only hope for the Filgaia and like an android. Gallows' whole connection with Bhaskar, Clive and his family. I will say, as much as I like the cast, Virginia's amazing. As much as I like Gallows, Jet, and Clive, the game could have done more with them. There were times where I was like, oh, like, I like their group dynamic, but there were times where they could have had a little bit more interactions and a little bit more of a character arc. I feel like Gallows, honestly, had a really interesting setup, but they didn't really, like, I feel like his character arc didn't really feel as fleshed out as some of the others. Clive as well. Clive's didn't really become apparent until the end of the game. Like, Clive's moment at the very end of the game, with like, where he was like, why am I fighting? And then his daughter had to remind him, like, oh, you don't, like, you know why you're fighting, etc. That was a great moment for Clive, but I feel like before that, Clive didn't really have a focus of a character arc, I feel. But, I don't know. I really like the characters. They're not perfect. Virginia is like, honestly, they did well with Virginia. I think Virginia, they really couldn't do more with. They did everything well with her. With Gallows, Clive, and Jet, they're good. They're good characters, but they could have had more. They could have had more. That being said, I like them. I think they were a great group. They were a great Drifter team. Also, side characters, really good. Maya's group was a really fun group to see. Just seeing Maya constantly. Virginia's dad, or a clone of her father, or whatever it was. Something else I really like about Wild Arms 3 is the villains and how they change throughout the game. I think Wild Arms 2 and 3 do the best at tonal shifts. In Wild Arms 2, they did it really well, how they pivoted from Odessa to the Cooper Belt, and then eventually, like, Irving is the antagonist. And in this game, they did it amazing. They started off with Janice. They started off super lighthearted, and then it's like, oh, the Prophets exist, and the Prophets were pretty good villains. They weren't, like, amazing, but they were pretty good. What they represent was great. I loved the Prophets and how they were used. And they were like, they like outplayed Janice. Janice turned to a demon. It was pretty great. And then Siegfried came along, and then eventually Beatrice. I think Wild Arms 3 and 2 do the best with tonal shifts. Changing the villains throughout the game without making it too out of left field. Oh, hey. Oh, are they wanted now? The Drifters are suspected of murdering the Order leader and assaulting the Order members. Minor injuries, many. As key suspects to the crime, their whereabouts are still unknown. That's actually the ending? Oh, you guys are back. So they're wanted now. Whoa there, I love it when women make the first move. Why does trouble always seem to come from over there? Help me please, bad guys are chasing me. It's a shame really, we're actually villains ourselves. Except we don't put up with thugs. No! You guys are. I hope you haven't forgotten about the great memories we had together. Well, what now? I guess we should lay low, huh? You're the one who sticks out like a sore thumb. We should let everyone know that we're alright. What do you say we hit Humphrey's Peak first? Thank you, I would appreciate that. Okay. Wild Arms 3, the end. Good game. I love the little flower at the end there. That's a bit out of left field. I was trying to think, like, playing through this game, I thought the theme was like, oh, a girl who wanted to explore the wasteland. I know Virginia was, like, looking for an answer and looking for justice, etc. But, like, this whole, like, oh, they're villains now is a little bit out of left field. Like, why? The game never really painted... I guess it talked about justice a little, but I feel like the game never really harkened the theme of like, oh, what they're doing might be right or might be wrong. I get it. They're blamed for killing the founder. Lamium appears dead, and they're framed for it. That makes sense, but for the game's story and themes, that feels a little bit random. They should have had that angle. They should have had an angle before of like, oh, people were after them or something. That just feels really out of left field. I don't know. Ending is, it's fine. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, but definitely Wild Arms 1 and 2 have better endings. Create an X-file containing data from a cleared game. An X-file allows you to save clear game data as well as watch movie cutscenes. You can now return to the game from an X-file. Create a new file overwriting. I'm going to save this at number 4. Just so I have the X-file key. Okay. Well. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, Wild Arms 3 is good. But yeah, the characters, I feel like Gallows, Jet, and Clive are good. They're good characters. As a group, I like their group dynamic. But they could have used a little bit more, especially Clive. Clive, I really feel like, other than the end of the game, I feel like Clive didn't really have much of a focus. He was kind of like the adult of the group, which is good, but that's kind of like a baseline character trope for him. But I feel like he didn't really have a designated arc until like the very end of the game. Jet made sense. Like Jet was literally like, he had no memories. He started off like as edgy, but then there was a reason for that. So I think Jet was pretty good. And then Gallows was really funny. Gallows was like the funniest character of the game. Clearly the comic relief. And his setup was good. But even then, they did not get the same amount of treatment and care as Virginia did. Virginia was done like basically flawlessly. The others were like good, but they could have used a little bit more. Side characters are good. I really like Maya's group. I like the villains are really good. I like Janice, how he was used in the game. I really like the Prophets. The Prophets are cool. And then Siegfried, I don't know. Siegfried was like cool. I think he was like a nod to Wild Arms 1. Kind of why he was in the game, but he was pretty good. And Beatrice was a good final villain. The whole theme of what is it? But yeah, the game's themes. I don't know what this game was trying to go for. I thought it was just like, oh, Virginia like leaving the wasteland and trying to find like her answer. And I guess justice, that makes sense, but this ending kind of feels a bit out of left field, if you ask me. The whole they're villains now. But the music in Wild Arms 3 is phenomenal. I like the gameplay, but I will say that battles are really slow. The gameplay doesn't pick up till like the mid game. I feel like the mid game is where it gets more interesting when you get more mediums and more equipment items. I also really hate, I didn't talk about this much, but I really hate that items are wasted when you equip them to a guardian. Like the items that give you like finest arts and the wards. I hate that they're wasted. I kind of hate that. I wasn't really vocal about it, but I kind of hate it. I was thinking about it like before I started recording today. Like, yeah, I don't like it. The gameplay is really fun. Some of the bosses in the late game have a bit too much HP, and it could be slow at times. But overall, the gameplay was really fun for the most part. It was pretty good. I like the way the Guardians work and the personal skills. And other than that, I think the game looks well. I love the cell shading. The cell shading looks really nice. The art style looks really distinct. The representation of the Wild West is really good. And the story, I think, is phenomenal. I really like the whole, four drifters meeting together, the focus on their group, and they meet by coincidence, and it turns to something big. Like the Yggdrasil system is really cool. It's like a failed experiment gone wrong. I really like that. It's kind of like Star Ocean 3, because Star Ocean 3 had the whole experiment thing. But I like the way Wild Arms 3 tackles it, of like, oh, building a new Filgaia. The fact that Filgaia used to be the fact that Filgaia used to have so much life and now it's a barren wasteland. They're trying to find a way to bring it back, and everyone's like ideals and everything. It's so good. I think the Prophets are, honestly, if you were to ask me my favorite villains, Janus was pretty good, but the Prophets, I really like the way the Prophets were used. I don't think, like, you know, they weren't like the best villains ever, but I think they were used really well, and what they represented was really cool. So the Prophets were cool. Janus was cool. Siegfried was pretty good as a villain. We didn't really have much with him, and Beatrice was at the very end of the game, but again, I think the tonal shift works really well. I will say, what is it? Part 3 felt really weird in this game. Chapter 3. Because the game is divided into 4 chapters. Chapter 1, they like meet up. You do the whole... It's like everything up to, I think it's Janus. Everything up until the Prophets are introduced. Chapter 2's like everything up until Siegfried's introduced, up to Yggdrasil. I feel like Chapter 3's pacing was very weird. Chapter 3 was just like, oh yeah, go to this dungeon, get some lore. It was cool, don't get me wrong, but the pacing for Chapter 3 left a bit to be desired. But other than that, the game's story, I enjoyed it. I was never not interested. I was always interested in what was happening. I was never bored, except the very beginning. It had a slow start, but outside of that slow start, like 5 to 10 hours in, I was in. I was like, oh, Wild Arms 3, I can't wait to see what happens. Also, the callbacks, amazing. I love that Lombardia is in the game. I love the callbacks to Wild Arms 1 especially. This game's story connects so well to Wild Arms 1. Kind of acting as like an alternative to what happened in Wild Arms 1. I loved it. But yeah, it was a good game. I really enjoyed Wild Arms 3. My biggest issues with it are that final boss sequence. I did not like the final boss sequence. And the directioning, like the navigation, going from town, going to the next town, going to the next dungeon, the search system, all of that combined, the world map, it was such a chore. Moving on with the game and going to the next area was such a chore in Wild Arms 3. It's like the one major flaw with this game. Like there's a couple of little things that are annoying, like there's a couple of annoying bosses, status ailments, and bosses taking a while, but the one big issue I have is navigation. Like the progression system, how you progress through the game. It's like such a pain because you have to talk to someone to move on the game, even if you know where to go because you played the game before. So that was annoying. But overall, I really enjoyed Wild Arms 3, and I'll do the post game. Yeah, I don't want to go to the title screen. I'll stay here. I will do the post game. I don't know when I'll do it, but I'll be playing Wild Arms 4 and 5 on Twitch because I want to play all the Wild Arms games before the year ends. I'll try my best with all the new releases coming, but yeah, those of you watching, hope you all enjoyed. I really enjoyed Wild Arms 3. If you're interested in more Wild Arms, I'll play more on Twitch. Eventually, I'll do the post game for this game. I don't know when, but keep an eye on the YouTube channel where I'll do that. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See you all next time.